My name is Mark Harris with 1555.
Hi, I'm Mahogany Monet.
My name is David Holmes.
My name is Cherie Bynum.
My name is Richard Gallion.
My name is Elizabeth Abraham.
And this
is
Black Butterfly.
Black Butterfly.
And this is Black Butterfly.
Okay.
I don't know. This animal raped our daughter. It's not like we are talking about some fucking slum nigger.
Jesus, Jay.
No, he is on the force. He will probably do 2 years, even less at some institution. Is that justice to you, huh?
Why don't you let the law take care of it?
The law? Sheila, if we wait for the law, maybe Samantha's cousin will be next. Or someone younger. This has to stop now.
Listen, Jay. I need you to be strong. She needs us now. Only God is capable of healing her
God?
pain.
Samantha will understand that God loves her when she knows her father was not some coward who sit back and let this bastard get away.
Is that the way you see it?
Is there any other way to see it?
Can we at least talk about this? Playing Sheila Matthews was fun. It was very different because I'd never done an accent before. But it was interesting, the dynamic between her and her husband and what happened with her daughter and how she was affected by it and what she did in the end because of it. When I got the script, I thought it was a beautifully written script because it was very powerful, and the story about rape and about how it affects family and how it affected her and the people that she was close to, it can happen to any single one of us. I mean, it happens every day, so it's good that people are made aware that this does happen and this is how we can deal with it. You know, I don't think there was a specific memorable moment for me. It was more that everybody just got along really well, and it was fun to see how different people from all different kinds of walks of life, and because it was kind of a film about a tragedy, how we all just had a good time and we kind of pulled together and we learned a lot about it and we supported each other through it.
When I was 15, I was raped by my uncle. And then I met you. And I ran into your arms, and as a result, we had our first child. I deal with children who are the recipients of this sickness every single day. Women who pimp their daughters and their sons for crack. I have infants that come into my custody, and their little baby wombs and rectums are busted completely open.
Patricia Sims is the mother of Ariel, which is played by Mahogany Monet, which is the lead Black Butterfly, Mrs. Black Butterfly. And she's her mom, and she is a social worker, and she starts to notice that her daughter isn't as energetic or ambitious as she once was. The script kind of reminded me in terms of the subject matter of the movie Precious that was played by Monique. And that's a subject matter that's taboo. It's a dark subject, but people really need to know about it. And being it coming from a director and writer from Inglewood and Chicago, and he really just touched it right on the mark on how to deliver it, how the characters were richly written and fully developed, and it was definitely a script that I wanted to be a part of.
Ariel. I killed him. I killed him for you. I want to say I can relate more to Torrance because his character would have certain disadvantages physically and mentally, and so what the thing about his character was that it dealt more as a person who's trying more to be himself, even though he has certain disadvantages.
Ariel, look, you have to be strong for you. Okay? You hear me? Yeah. Look, I just want to let you know. No matter what happens, Ariel, I'm gonna be right there by your side, okay? And we're gonna get through this together, all right?
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
The character I play in the film is Daniel. It's Ariel's boyfriend. I'm an athlete. And I show this strong love for, my girlfriend. Even at a young age, it just shows that, love don't come with an age. Like, you don't have to be old to be deeply in love. And I think we really portrayed a lot in that film. It was definitely a challenge because I haven't experienced anyone close to me that's been raped, but I do have a daughter that I love dearly. And, the way I prepared was, because it was different emotions that had to be shown, and I kind of envisioned my daughter, in that scenario, and it kind of helped a whole lot. One of my most memorable moments on set was when we were at the basketball court, the basketball scene. It was outside, and it's the scene when Coach was attacking me with the golf club, and it was some civilians that was watching, didn't know we were filming a movie, and they actually ran on the court, grabbing Coach and trying to stop it, yeah. But they missed them big old cameras that was out there.
You have to tell someone.
Can't do that. I don't have your courage, okay? Or stupidity.
But at least tell Coach Barnes.
Oh, yeah. Are you crazy? You saw what Coach Barnes was gonna do to you. That man has a family. And Coach Barnes looks at me like a daughter. If I told that man that, he would flip out. And I can't be responsible for him going to prison.
Well, you have to tell someone.
I can't.
Well, that makes you just as guilty as Mitchell.
Hey, that's not fair. That's not fair.
I do play the lead role in Black Butterfly, and her name is Ariel Simmons. She is a 15-year-old inspiring young girl, just out there. She's vivacious, she's full of life, and she's going through the typical things that all teenagers go through. Of course, she's thrown into something a little more horrific than most teenagers go through, and this movie just kind of spells out how she goes through it and how she overcomes it. I think a lot of girls can relate to it on so many different levels because, just from her being a swimmer and being competitive and just the normal things she goes through with family, and also on the more horrific end, it helps a lot because not a lot of girls are able to talk about a lot of the things that they go through as women, and not a lot of boys are either. So I think that this helps all teenagers, no matter race or sex or age. What helped me to get into character was having an amazing cast. It was the greatest support that anyone can have, and having an amazing director in Mark Harris. Having Richard Gallion and having Keelan Ellis and Lionel Gentle, people who are just so natural on camera, and this being my first film, having them there, it just helped so much. They were so amazing, each and every person on that set, and just having such an amazing script helped. It really helped me to get into character and just feel where Ariel was coming from, feel her situation, and just to become her.
The experience working on set with Mark Harris. Well, Mark is very quiet, but when he wants to get his point across, he gets it across.
He's a great guy. He's a great director. He lets you do you. So, and if you're doing the character and he sees something that he wants more from you, he'll let you know. But for the most part, he trusts his actors' instincts, and he allows them to bring those characters to life.
Working with Mark Harris, it was great. And he's a very, very cool person. Very laid back. He's a director that knows what he wants, but when he needs to really speak up, he can really influence what's going on as a director.
The journey that I went through with this being my first film, to acquire the role of Ariel Simmons,
began with actually my mother meeting Mark Harris at one of his premieres. He had mentioned to her about an upcoming audition, and she told me, she was like, go, go, go. And I'm like, oh my God, no. I heard so many actresses who were going, and I just knew that they would get it. I just didn't go in feeling confident about it. But then I received an email from Mark. And he said, just look over the script and see how you feel about it and come into the audition. He was very just easy going about it, and I sent him the reply back after I had read it. Because the moment I read Black Butterfly, I was floored. Like the script, how it's written just pulls you in, and it just leaves you breathless. It leaves you feeling like these people are real. And I knew that I wanted to be a part of it. Like even if I was just like getting water for people on set, I wanted to do anything. So I went in actually wanting the role of the mother. I thought that my look would be older, and just how he wrote the script was just so gritty. And there's actually a scene in there where Patricia Simmons is just telling her life as a violence educator in the community, and she's just feeling it so much. And I really want you guys to take a moment with that part, because that part is so important to the movie, because she's describing how these victims feel when they're attacked and how they feel like there's no one around. And that just pulled me in. And I read for that part, but then he also had me read for Ariel. And I was so nervous reading for her because I knew what it meant to read for her. I knew that this would mean that I would be the one that these girls and these boys would have to relate to, and these women who are now grown who would have to relate to. And that same day after my audition, I cried because I thought it was terrible. Like I was bawling, like I was in the car just crying. I called my mom. I was like, this is terrible. I'll never do this again. It sucked. And it turns out that Mark liked it, because he called me that same day and asked me to be a part of the movie. And it was one of the best days of my life.
I was inspired to write Black Butterfly because, like, in my life, I ran into a lot of women, not dating, but a lot of women, and most of them, like 90% of them, 95% were either raped or sexually molested as a child. And I wanted to tell a story how that is killing our community, not just the black community, but the community as a whole. And so I wanted to do that on film, and I was inspired to write Black Butterfly. And it took me a while before we got it made, but I'm glad that we did, and with the people that made this project. The reality of this film is that women are being sexually molested, women are being raped. It's a high percentage of women. We took a class. We took a class when we were going, because the first time we did the screening, a lot of women were coming out the theater and they were like crying, and so we had to take a class with the rape advocate and to know about how to deal with people who went through this. And when you go to this, when we went to the screenings, like people were like bawling, and so it's the reality, man. The reality is that our women are being, their virtue is being taken from them, and it's like nothing we could do, because once that happens, that's where you get women who go into prostitution. That's when you get women who become promiscuous. That's when you get women who, they don't see any value in themselves once a man has taken their virtue. And so with Black Butterfly, what we wanted to do is we wanted to show all these different men who would do anything to protect this young sister. The message I want to leave people with after they watch this film, particularly for men. Okay. The message I want to leave people with after watching this film, like if you look at the family, one of the things that we talk about, I'm sorry. Excuse me, audience. I have one question to ask Richard Gallen. He's on the side here. Richard, what was the name of your character in the film? Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. We're back. One of the things, like the Daniel character played by Richard Gallen says in the film, he was like, you know, he went to dinner over Ariel Sims' home, and he was like, man, this is something we don't do anymore. And one of the things I want to show is like with black families, we don't sit down with families period here in America. We don't sit down at dinner no more to eat. And that's one of the things I really wanted to stress in the film, that I want to show this black family, or this family sitting down at the dinner table, eating dinner together, talking about things that are going on in our society, current events. That's one of the things. Another thing I want to talk about is I want to show, the main thing I want to show black men in a positive light. Because when you see black men, you see how the media portrays black men, you know, it's always in a negative light, you know. And I want to show how these brothers, from the coach to the boyfriend to the father to her brother, if you go on and on, who would do anything to protect their sister. So that's the main focus I want to show, is to protect, elevate the black woman, and women in general. And that's the message I want people to look at this film and leave with it.